turning inside out. Beautiful move. Trying to get the shot on. He holds. He shoots. He scores! Absolutely.
The pitch. High fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races. Inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Wow. I just love that logo. 10-year anniversary season. You know, we're winding down. That's going to disappear. And I know I'm redundant. You know who I am. And I'll tell you in a minute, if you're first time watching the show, A1, otherwise known as Anthony Veltri, he created that logo. I mean, how cool is it? And I just have to say it each week. And now he understands that it's a compliment and he's doing well. So I appreciate him. Thank all of you for watching our Pittsburgh Sportsline show live in the BP TV studios. Like I always say, right here in the municipal building in Bethel Park. Police stations to the right of us, mayor's office and administration building is upstairs, and the great library in BP, which Smoking Jim doesn't know where it's at, is right there. Used to take my kids to the great librarians back in the 90s, so great memories there. And Christine's a great librarian, and Elaine Volpe, she met Smoking Jim at our local Planet Fitness and stunned him.
Oh, my.
You know, before I get deep, we'll just share a little story. He's there, Smoking Jim goes there. He brings a bucket of chicken, puts it in Tupperware. He has 2 dinners from Pasta 2. He does support our local businesses here. He says he's from Monroeville. I don't know where he lives. He says it's Monroeville. He's been to my house. I haven't been to his. So guess what? He goes to Planet Fitness not to work out. I don't know what he does, but I assume it's to look at the pretty girls.
No, he's definitely admitted that before.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's admitted that before.
Because I hate to put words in his mouth because he's a wordsmith and a writer. Doesn't read, but that's another subject. So a nice young lady walks up to him and says, you know, hey, Smoking Jim, how are you? He's shocked that she knows him because she's a beautiful woman and she's smart. And she goes, I've seen you on TV with Al Levine, the talking machine. So he got caught looking at women by our children's librarian. It's a mouthful to get out there.
Look, he feels no shame either. He's just wearing it.
No, he's my, for all of you new people, he's my Ed McMahon. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier. Nick Callis, the VIP, who went to another level when we did our Taekwondo grand opening. You have to check that show out. Well, thanks, first of all, for all of you watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for all of you watching Verizon 32 in Bethel Park. Just had a friend of mine, Bobby Watton from Nemacolin. He's seen my show up from Nemacolin, the Cranberry, Wexford, City of Pittsburgh, Greater Pittsburgh area on Verizon 32. So thank all of you. I post a lot of stuff on Facebook. 4,719 close friends on Facebook. Smoking Jim hit 5,000, but then he started deleting people. He thinks he's the champ on Facebook, but you have to create a new Facebook page when you go over 5,000. He doesn't know how to do any technology. For 2.5 months, he bought a new Mac Pro.
Well,
and he doesn't use it.
doesn't that mean he knows something?
No. He didn't even know Apple makes it, so I cancel it all out. Just so you know. So thanks for everybody out there. And if you haven't liked Pittsburgh Sportsline, please give us a like. We appreciate it. I got some promos coming up here. And I guess I'll have some internet. Here we go. We got A1 on the camera. Check this out. First promo. Make sure it's close up. You got the close up there, Anthony? Look at them in white. Let's see how that frames it. Look at that close up. Woo. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Hillcrest Shopping Center. Can't miss it. Call 412, I won't even look up there, 831-1900. They got Italian food, pizzas. They sponsor our show with an XL pepperoni pizza. And last week we got in trouble here. Dave Cable found some sausage on the floor, so I don't know who was dropping sausage off the pizza here because they mixed it up. Frank Venera, the owner, gave us a meat lover's pizza, which was delicious, and a 6-cut steak hoagie. They did a great job cutting it. That way we don't fight and rip the hoagie apart. But they have great desserts, great salads, you name it, special offers they have. They have even different advertising they do in the local area. You'll get a flyer on it sometimes to save money, so check them out. Just a great place, and everything is fresh there, and we appreciate it. And I had my slice and my cut. So next up, A1 on the camera right now. And we got the Rookie of the Year, Jonathan, directing the show. Look at this, the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. We end each show with Stay Joey Strong. There's Joey before DIPG, the brain cancer that took his life at 8 years old. He died before his 9th birthday, and that's like 8 years ago. So, and there he is with DIPG. And when you get diagnosed with it, you die within a year. It's a terrible, dreaded disease. His family started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. They've raised over $100,000. They've given it to Dr. Gary at Children's Hospital. They're trying to find a cure for DIPG and cancer. And you hear every so often that they're close to these different miracle drugs that could do it. So we'll keep our faith and just stay Joey strong. Come to their event in September. It's a 5K, 1-mile superhero run and walk, and that's their biggest fundraiser of the year. You pay there, then you dress up like superheroes. Then Al Levine, the talking machine, and one of these unknown camera people that you don't see normally except for Nick, they'll film our show. And I do interviews of all the superheroes and families that come to it. And it's a great event. We all have some fun, all for a good cause. All right, next up. That's a nice shot of me, look. Still looking. This delay is unbelievable. Nice. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. Everybody knows the red and white trolley there. The old flag over 50 years old, they just put that in there. 1905 Park House School, first high school in Bethel Park, over 100 years old. They've refurbished it from the basement all the way to the cupola. We taught Smokin' Jim what a cupola is. It has the bell up in the cupola. And they moved that, which it went from there to the high school that's currently on Church Road, right near my house. And they took that bell off of them, put it back in the cupola, bought a brand new bell that they got sponsors for, because for some reason the kids at Bethel Park, we got Dan the Man here coming in for us. He's a graduate. And we got other people here. We even have a new volunteer, Corey. He's a graduate of Bethel Park. And we got Jonathan. He's another graduate of Bethel Park. Those are our volunteers here.
Yeah.
And you can go there. They have a great Reginald's Coffee.
I ain't clapping.
Well, Smokin' Jim, you're Monroeville, you're Gateway-centric. They recruit, they cheat, and they've won championships as they drop down in class.
How'd you find a way to make this about Gateway, huh?
Yeah. I'm still
Any way you can, can't you? Yeah.
I'm still doing promos here. Reginald's Coffee. I had a friend of mine recommend I talked to a lady that played basketball and volleyball at Duquesne, has a couple degrees, and her name's Connor. And she liked talking to me so much. She goes, could we meet in person? I said, do you like tea? And she goes, yeah. And I said, let's go to Reginald's Coffee. I saw Matt. Shout out to Matt. And she had a cup of coffee, or no, she had chai, and I had some full leaf green tea. They don't have the loose leaf green tea anymore because of COVID. And Matt told me that they're selling coffee like crazy. They're selling more and more coffee every day. I said, you know, I've told hundreds of people, if not thousands, on our show that your coffee is better than Starbucks, Dunkin' Donut, and anybody else, even your home coffee, because they have a roaster right there. They roast worldwide imported coffee, in their place. And they have Wi-Fi for people like Smoking Jim when he gets his Mac Pro working. All right, here's another 501c3. And let me get a little sip as we get a focus. Orange Crush, haven't had that in years. Thanks, Dave Cable. I don't drink pop, but when I do, Dave Cable buys it. Just thought I'd share. The B in Always Be Smiling stands for the poor boy Bennett, who is handicapped, had 2 kidney transplants. His dad, Dean, gave him a kidney, and he died at 16 and a half. And they do events in the area to help other people with children with kidney disease and help pay their expenses and give out money to help others. They're doing great things. It's a 501c3. I told them I took a challenge. They had 800 some likes over a year ago, and I said, I'll take it to 1,000. They go, we'd appreciate it because it'd be a 1-year anniversary. So guess what? We now have over 1,200 likes on their page. I have to thank all of my Pittsburgh Sportsline fans that have liked my page, because you know when you invite people, it's all people you know, and I got that 4,719 close friends. Unlike Smoking Jim, they're frivolous sweeties. He has thousands of them, and he don't even know who they are. But all you guys like what he posts, so I understand. But check out Always Be Smiling. Keep liking their stuff, and if a few more people like it, I appreciate it, and so do I. Kristen and Dean, thank you. All right, we'll test them on the autofocus here. Oop, I slipped up and said it. I wasn't going to say that anymore. We'll see what he does. I'm in white, so it'll look framed excellent. Let's see how this one looks. Bada bing. Look at how I frame it. You can't see my shirt. Perfect job. A1. Kathleen Miller, she has kidney disease. Her function of kidneys was 17%. They told her she'd need a transplant at 15, like I got a living donor like my son. So she said, could I try to get a kidney on your show? Look at this, look at her nice smiling face, and she's in bad health and dying. And she came up with this flyer, and sure enough, maybe somebody watching our show or somebody heard about her. They volunteered to be her donor. So it's quite an honor that she gives credit that they may have found out about it through us. And she can't tell us until she gets her transplant. When she gets sick enough, then we'll know who the transplant, person is, the kidney donor. So we'll find out. Shout out to Kathleen. Hope you're doing well. I'll have to give you a call and talk to you to get updates on you. All right. Let's see what A1 does here. Look at that. Look at that. Anybody in Bethel Park, the Bethel Park Community Foundation has grant money for you.
Even Smoking Jim?
No, he lives in Monroeville, and sometimes he's out in New Ken taking pizza out to New Ken to whatever her name is. Then he says she owns his dog. Oh, sorry. I was thinking that. I didn't mean to let that all out.
Co-owner.
Can you cut that? Can you cut that? Okay, since he asked a dumb question, I'll answer it. There are no co-owners when you don't clean up their poop or you feed the dog. And you barely even know the name of the dog, so you're not an owner. Everybody has verified it, hundreds of people. Whenever we go out and talk to animal lovers, their first answer is, no, he's not an owner. And then that's their only answer. Because he tries to convince them, because he goes, I'm having fun owning a dog.
What's the dog's name?
Fido.
Doggy.
You know what? I can't hold it in. I met Smoking Jim 11 years ago. And now when you meet people, you might tell them, like, I have a split personality like he does. He's a mama's boy and he does Smoking Jim, Or, I have issues or health issues. Well, he told me, I'm an honest man. And I thought that'd be good for one time.
The dog's name is Doggy.
Yeah, because I thought I'd know him forever, right? So every year, I've heard at least once or a dozen times or 50 times, I'm an honest man. And my conclusion is he's not. Because I don't need reminded. But check out bpcf.org. You can get from $100 to $5,000 if you're doing good things in Bethel Park. And we've given out $1 million, over $1 million in 26 years. So get an application online. I'm a trustee on the board. Come on out, and we'll hear what you got to do. Are you two
we're
giggling? You know it's distracting. I'm trying to help promote things in Bethel
No, I
Park.
was just thinking like, here, Dougie.
I understand. No, I understand. You two can play after the show. In case you didn't notice, this is my show. All right? You guys are just here for entertainment purposes, not your own. Now, Smokin' Jim learned about Uncle Sam last year. Did not know it was an American historical icon. And he can Google it, but he doesn't have his other Apple phone. Sorry. He just made it this way. He bought a Mac Pro, bought another Apple phone, and he has neither one. But we want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al, the talking machine, wants you for BPTV. Like A1, like Dan the Man, like Corey, and like Jonathan, who works at Starbucks. I don't want to disrespect Starbucks and their coffee. Reginald's Coffee has them beat. They got the talking machine endorsement. Stay tuned. We're going to do an interview with Matt at Reginald's Coffee maybe in the next month or so, right in his establishment. We're going on location, A1. Get ready for this. I'm prepping him because he needs time to adjust to the talking machine schedule. So we're going to do it. But we want you for BPTV. If you're in high school, look, I got Bethel Park graduates here. You can go now, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and be here. Bo does a ghost hunter show, and his boys, and they're great. They're going to be on national TV with a ghost show. And guess where they started? BPTV. Call 412-831-3304. Say you heard the talking machine say we could work here and learn. Dave will teach you everything. Even if you disagree, he'll teach you. He's that good. All right, we're going to go to What's on Your Mind, Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
High, hard,
you
fastball.
got to see Levine. I tell you what, man, I'm excited, Al Levine, the talking machine, because we got the soul man back. My favorite Afro is here, Dan the Man. and Dan, let me ask you a question. I know you're
He's
off
off
camera.
air.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like Apple laptops? There it is from the Soul
up.
Brothers. See, hey, y'all ain't got us outnumbered no more. It's 3-2 now, brother.
It's against you.
Here, I got one for you. If you turned on a Mac in the last 2 days, yeah, he said he's nodding his head yes. He actually uses it. That's why it was worth the money.
Well, that's good.
That's what I was getting. That's what I was getting at.
I tell you what, every time I see Dan the Man, I tell you what I want to do about 10 burpees. First time I met him, he's like, get down and give me 10 push-ups. But putting that slippery rock degree to use. But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Smokin' Jim, I didn't understand anything of that first dissertation. You have 1 minute to explain what's on your mind. I'm shutting you down. We're going at 40 minutes right now to go. So
All right,
I'm going to give you 1 minute, and you're getting shut down. Look at the timer.
That's not a list, is it?
No, it's not a list.
Okay.
But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, I didn't realize that the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots are tied with each other for the most Super Bowls in NFL history, 6 apiece. I didn't realize that there's 12 NFL teams that have 0 Super Bowl victories. So throughout the course of the show, and the captain and Dan the Man can tune in, name some of the teams that don't have, see if we can name all 12 before the end of the show. I'll give you one, Cleveland Browns. 0 Super Bowls. And that's what's on my mind.
Thank
12
you.
NFL, almost half the league with no Super Bowl.
You made it with 3 seconds.
Quit peeking.
2 seconds to go.
Yeah.
That's the best opening we've had because we actually had some facts.
There we go.
Can I name a few while it's my turn? No.
Well, I'm going to go what's on your mind. So if that's on your mind right now,
Well, now it is. Carolina Panthers.
You got it.
Oakland Raiders.
No.
You know the guy who is famous for the Madden football?
John Madden. Oh, yeah, they won in the 70s. Darn it. They're
And if
terrible
the
now.
If the Steelers weren't good, they'd have won a couple more.
Draft. All right, I don't want to think about this too much right now, but I got one. So I guess that's all that matters right now.
Can you focus on what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll
Thank
go
you.
with Spoken Jim. So a
Just
play
trying to
happened.
give some guidance.
A
here.
play happened with the Pirates over the weekend that got a lot of media attention, and player involved in said scenario got sent down to the minor leagues. First of all, I'm happy that the Pirates have a short leash on players now. That's awesome. They're holding people accountable, and they are trying to make sure that the best, most talented, best 40-man roster they have is who's playing, and not people who we're wasting time on it anymore. That's good.
Nick, thank you
yeah.
for explaining that because that gets even confusing to me
What do you mean?
with the 40-man roster.
Yeah, I'm not going to explain the.
No,
40-man
with the
roster.
stipulations and
But-
things like that.
But yeah, Cole Tucker, he was removed from that roster and then later got claimed by the Diamondbacks, and that makes me sad because he was the first draft pick I ever covered with the Pirates, and now he's not a Pirate anymore. But he didn't play well enough. So
Wait, can I interrupt you on that?
yeah, go ahead.
Somebody was telling me, my son, about 5 pitchers that he was watching recently since they left the Pirates that had all been on World Series and championship teams.
You know Clay Holmes is the closer of the Yankees now too, with Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, with a
That's crazy.
.73 ERA or something.
That's
it was
crazy.
last week.
And that's why I was suspicious of that deal, because what were the Yankees looking at? Well, apparently their next interim closer.
Here's the question you should have asked. I have to correct you, young pup.
Okay.
What were the Pirates thinking?
Well, he wasn't doing well here, so I get it. I'm just always suspicious.
I rest my case.
Why do teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers, why they're interested in players on the Pirates?
Do you know
We
why?
find out why. Because they come.
No, we're a feeder team.
I understand.
And you know what's going to happen to Tucker? Not to get in an argument or anything, but he's going to do well. He'll learn to hit because Claudio Rosano, a good friend of ours, was talking about hitting and coaching up, who just left us. And he said he could have corrected his issues with batting.
Yeah, well,
Claudio.
I
So what do
understand.
you think 31 other teams could potentially do?
We'll see. 31? You mean 29?
What was it, only 30?
They're
Oh,
only
I was going NFL on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I stand corrected.
That's okay.
I make a mistake or two every day, and I did it for Nick.
That's all right.
Unintentionally.
But no, okay. But the main point I wanted to get at too with the short leash is that Rodolfo Castro was involved in play at the pop-up on the infield, and he was the batter. He didn't run to first. The first baseman dropped the ball, threw it to first base to force out Castro, and then the runner going from first to second got a run down and got tagged out for a double play. But what I wanted to mention on that play was that in the rules of Major League Baseball, which is why this is a tricky play, and I don't want to blame Castro in full for that play. In the rules, a fielder is not allowed to intentionally drop a fly ball, and if in the umpire's determination that a player did intentionally drop a fly ball or pop-up, then the batter's just automatically out and the play ends. So should the umpires have called it on the Diamondbacks for intentionally dropping the ball? I would argue yes. However, is that a call that you see often? It's not. And in that scenario, if Castro is running down to first base, he's probably going to beat out that pop-up, and the same situation is going to stand, a runner on first, just with another out, just like it would have been if they would have caught the pop-up. But on the other front as well, if the runner on first base noticed that the pop-up dropped, so he just kind of stays on the bag, and then they force out Castro at first base, and that runner on first still stays there. It's as if the fielder caught the ball anyway. So I don't want too many people to be hard on Castillo, or Castro, I mean, Rodolfo Castro, because
Well, who got thrown out in the rundown?
I forget. I don't know.
Was it Brian Reynolds or something?
I think it was Diego Castillo, but
Okay.
I'm not certain. But like in that case, it's like you see a really weird, unusual play, and everybody's talking about, oh, the Diamondbacks were smart. I don't really think it was. I mean, it was a clever play, but if the rules were enforced correctly, that should have been an out. Castro should have been out automatically. And if the runner on first would have just stayed put, then they don't get doubled up. So a couple scenarios there where I think that Castro should not be just an absolute scapegoat for that play. Like, those kind of things happen. Again, it was unusual, and yeah, take it easy on the guy. But at the same token, I saw the interviews with Derek Shelton and Ben Cherington over the weekend, or I heard them, because they were on the radio, and they're talking about...
Where do you work at?
93.7 The Fan. So
okay.
Yeah, I cover the Pirates pretty thoroughly.
Thanks for paying Nick to do that.
But, yeah, so, thank you, Al. But, yeah, the main point there is it's just, like, also that the team is holding players more accountable now. And if Castro's not, I mean, he made several other errors too in the game and over the series. He just wasn't playing well. So they're holding players accountable, and if players aren't good enough, they're going to start rearranging the roster more to make sure that the guys on the Major League roster are the best they can possibly be, and that is a good thing. I like the accountability, and I like that they're giving other players chances when certain players aren't doing well. So more to look forward to with the Pirates.
Well, I got to still continue with what Nick's saying. I'm a disgruntled Pirate fan because traditionally in the last so many years we've had many base running faux pas.
Yeah,
this
true.
this was another one of it. It wasn't as bad as chasing a guy back to home.
Well, that's not base running. That was a defensive gaffe.
But I'm just saying it was on the bases.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm expanding it a little bit on both ends of it. So it's not unexpected, and we're supposed to have all this talent down in the minor leagues. So I wondered how long it would take to start bringing them up, because look at our starting pitching and things like that. You know, we need help. And if we got all these players last year, some of them should be up here just to try, because how much worse could it be?
Well, that's what they were talking about. That's why they took a chance on Roansy Contreras, because if the established veterans weren't getting it done right away, then they figure, why not take a chance on one of the younger guys who has a lot of promise. Roansy Contreras is one of those players. They took a chance on him. They gave him a couple relief appearances.
Yeah.
He did well, and now they're putting him in the starting rotation, and he is contributing to winning efforts on the mound, which is what you want to see. Plus, Cal Mitchell, you know, I never really heard about him too much before he came up. He's one of those guys that, you know, must have worked hard and done well, because now he's up in the majors. He's doing well. He just hit his first Major League home run. Jack Sawinski had a lot of promise. He's up here now. He's doing well. So, I mean, I'm a little more optimistic now than I was. Like, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team still, but, like, they're...
Well, even Chip, our resident loyal Pirate fan, says they'll lose more than they win.
I don't know about that. That I might step back.
I'll take money on that. I'll take $1 bet with you.
All right, time out. I get it.
They lose more games than they win.
All right, fine. We're not going to do that. Maybe they'll
I don't throw my money around, but I'll bring it out.
They'll be in the high.
I'll bring it out as a witness.
They'll be in the high 70s or 80 wins.
I don't go for much. For all you guys that work at the Post-Gazette, you know, I got that moth. $1. All right.
They'll win close to 80 games, and that's a good thing considering that they were
wait a second.
Historically terrible over the last 2
For a
seasons.
winning record, they would need...
I realized that. Because I was doing the math in my head, and I was like, wait.
Well, you went to KO, so I didn't want to come out strong on you.
If they win 80, then they would lose 82.
No offense to my KO grads, but I know math isn't always strong in the
I just want to be optimistic for once.
Well, you can be optimistic all you want. I'm just dealing in some facts here. I love your opinions. I respect all your opinions. I happen to disagree with Smoking Jim on his opinions 110% now. That's my disagreement, but it's only personal. But I respect you, Nick, and thanks for not taking that back. I could have used an extra $1, so no problem. Thanks for Amy, who's not at Giant Eagle today. She's up in Pymatuning on vacation. She said, hi, guys. Tony from Chick-fil-A has a question. Or no, he has a statement. Smoking Jim is hush when it comes to his personal life. For example, what's his real name? LOL. Chuck McElroy, Chief. I worked with Chief 30-plus years. He's now retired from the Post-Gazette, so he got time to watch our show. He said, Al, can you show Smoking Jim how to karate chop some boards? That was Taekwondo, Chief. And he goes, he will need those skills to fight off all those sweeties. Chief, here's how it is. Forearm, board break, bang, ha. And then Amy says, hi, guys. Marla, a friend of mine.
I'm Facebook friends with Amy now.
Yeah, I know, because Smoking Jim steals all of my friends.
She added me on Facebook.
Yeah, and very nice. And Marla says hi to me. And she said, go KO. She's a KO graduate.
Love to hear that.
So she respects the VIP and the
Nepotism.
talking machine.
Nepotism.
Yeah, Smoking Jim would say that. He's done that. What's on my mind? Wow, they got me confused again because Smoking Jim was so short today. Normally he's gone 22 minutes on nonsense. So we cut him down to 1 minute and a half. What's on
Arizona
mine?
Cardinals.
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, you can blurt out any time. You're right next to them. And I expect that. They're buddies now. I introduced them. Now they're friends on Pittsburgh Sportsline. What's on my mind is NBA. Boston won and looked great in their first game. And I was watching, I don't watch a lot of NBA except during the playoffs and finals. And I see Golden Gate. All of a sudden, somebody flicked a switch on. They were desperate. And at one point, they were up like 29 points in the second half of the game, third quarter. And I think they win by about 19. Curry was popping in threes. Everybody was shooting well. And they were even playing defense. Golden State Warriors were playing good defense on Boston because they looked terrible. Absolutely terrible. So what a series. It's tied 1-1. We'll see what happens in the series. In case you didn't know, I'm a front runner with Golden State Warriors, even though Ashley Battle works for the Boston Celtics. You got good karma working for them. So we'll see what happens. And that's what I have with what's on my mind. We're going to go to Fiction and Fact with Smokin' Jim Frazier 10 seconds from now. Here we go.
Levine, does
Oh,
anybody
you're talking to me?
Does anybody want to blurt out a couple more before I go into it?
I don't feel like it.
Pick me. I'll do it.
That's
tell
not
me.
one.
No, that's not one. I actually. No.
It's hard.
It is
It's
hard. No, because the Cardinals didn't win because that would have been their first. The Seahawks won one they hadn't before.
You know you're talking
2010s.
out loud and confirming you don't know.
All right, I don't know.
Okay, that's all right.
Thanks for doing that, Smoking.
I'll read it off at the end of the show if we have time. But
We won't have time for
Al
it.
Levine, the talking machine. I tell you what, man. Just we
What?
are the city of champions, and I tell you what, Al
Hold it.
Levine,
When did that come to you?
Yeah, it came to me when Al Levine, the talking machine. You and I used to talk about how the Pittsburgh Steelers never won for about 40 years.
Yeah.
And I remember going to games at Pitt Stadium and parking on the
You're
hill,
older than some of your sweeties think.
parking on the Hill District and going to see
You
Fran
parked in the
Tarkington.
Hill District and walked all the way up Cardiac Hill.
Well, it's
You and your dad.
It's a lateral. It was a lateral move from the projects there.
Not really. I've walked it.
Yeah, lateral move. And
From what street were you coming from?
yeah, there's projects all around there, but
But you have to come down the streets to get the pit.
I remember seeing Fran Tarkington playing for the New York Giants. My favorite player at the time in Pittsburgh Steelers history, Roy Jefferson. I remember him
Roy. I
bringing
loved
in
him.
Terry Hamready. I just thought he was going to be a great quarterback. All the way fast forwarded to Three Rivers Stadium, where I went to every Steeler home game in Three Rivers Stadium history, including the Immaculate Reception. I was in the house when the greatest play to this day
In
in
football.
NFL history, the Immaculate Reception, was made. Who knew at that time that the Immaculate Reception, that I was witnessing the greatest play in NFL history? And that's the Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
I think I have another team.
Okay,
The Chargers.
you got it. Nick, you're on fire, brother.
I did
You're on fire. You
I got one of
three
the
of them
obvious
already.
ones wrong, so I'm not proud of that. I got one of the obvious ones wrong. in the Raiders. I'm not proud of that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't have blurted that out.
They got about 4 Super Bowls, 3 or 4. It's
Yeah, you
okay.
shouldn't. You shouldn't have
That's
blurted
all
that.
right. That was all right. They keep changing Oakland to L.A. Raiders. It's easy to.
That's
Make
true.
the
Technically, the Las
mistake.
Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders now, yeah.
You're kidding. They're in Las Vegas now.
Yeah. It's Knicks up.
All right, you guys are done. I wasn't sure. I just was going to do what Chip does. I was just on the phone. That's it. That's it for Smoking Jim Frazier. I don't know what fiction and what facts we had. We'll have a fact checker do it. I need 17 sources to correct him. And we're going to go to VIP time with Nick Callis. 10 seconds away. Come on.
I'm going to talk about feelings today. We're talking about our feelings. And here's what I mean. So I heard Chip say something yesterday, or not yesterday, last week, that I just wanted to address because I feel like more people do that than not, which really makes them like frustrated or angry or maybe sometimes even overexcited with sports. So he said, I feel like the hitters are not as good today as they were before. But that's not necessarily saying that they were. He's saying, I feel like. And then when I heard him say that buzzword feel, I've heard him say that before. And I've heard other sports fans say that before. They say, I feel like something isn't right. I feel like this team can't do well, or this person isn't doing well. I just feel like they're not good enough. And that's when you bring statistics to the fight, and even when you try to, bring statistics to things, and they're still like, no, my feelings bear the most priority into how I think about these situations. I mean, we can even talk about that with politics as well. I'm not going to go into politics here, of course, but some people want a policy passed because it makes them feel safer or makes them feel better about themselves, whatever that may be. So, I mean, when I look at sports and when I usually do my predictions on sports, I've been right on a few major discussions that have gone on, most recently Kenny Pickett getting drafted. But it's because, I'm not sitting around covering sports and studying different statistics or different elements of sports. I'm not going around there thinking, well, I just need to have feelings on and I need to let my own biases create how I'm going to make predictions on these issues or on these events that are going to happen. You usually got to separate yourself from that and sometimes take a look at what is actually happening. I saw people on the endless rage machine that is Twitter over the weekend. The Pirates are down early in a couple games, and all of a sudden I see people on social media going, they're terrible. Why is this player even a guy? Well, the Pirates won 2 or 3, and they swept the Dodgers before that series, and then they won 2 or 3 against the Diamondbacks. So maybe let's not let our feelings overwhelm us a little bit. Chip feels like hitters aren't as good today as they were before, and even statistics could not convince him. And I don't do this segment because he tells me all the time, you're never going to convince me, Nick. But I don't do this segment for him. I do this segment to teach you people, to give you guys some information on how you can observe sports better and appreciate sports better or whatever. This is about, educating a little bit. I always talks about that. We're entertaining.
Yeah,
and informative.
one interruption.
Okay.
Chief just said Chip always has facts to back up his feelings.
Well,
He put it right on you.
well,
I know, Chief.
Well, I know when I talked about the hitters before, I remember I talked about
There you go, Chief. You got Nick coming back at you.
when I gave Chip numbers, then Chip said, no, I don't feel that way. That can't be. 30 batting points for 10,000 more home runs in baseball might be terrible. Or I feel like all the games are terrible because hitters are just hitting home runs.
Hold it.
and
You said it was 274 100 years ago, and now it's 244.
Like 244, yeah, something around there. So it's
So,
30.
Chief, he's giving you facts. Only 30 points less.
Yeah, I mean, Chip. No, I'm not gonna hammer Chip down because he's not here, and obviously he should have a chance to defend himself.
He will.
So we're not gonna. I mean, I'm not saying this just because this isn't a Chip problem. This is Smoking Jim talks about his feelings a lot. He feels like Tomlin is a terrible coach, even though there's just many signs and evidence that that's just not true. But Smoking Jim feels that way, and you're entertained when he says that because everybody will argue that that's not the case. So why does Smoking Jim still say that? I don't know. It's your guess as well as it is mine. But no, I mean, again, it's not just a Chip problem, but like when you bring numbers to people, like Chip's really good with like trivia and facts and talking about like why people are impressive, and he brings up the numbers. But when arguing era to era, usually he's just like, no, I feel that this is a certain way, or I feel like the games are boring now because there is more run production. Even though that might not be the case, there's still much to appreciate about sports. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, well, Alan and Chip were talking about how Kenny Pickett wasn't going to get drafted too because they felt like it wasn't the best for the Steelers, even though the Steelers are doing things that we don't even know about that might dictate whether a quarterback being drafted in the first round now is the best case scenario for them or not. And we don't know. We just got that blanket feeling like, ooh, there are so many more issues, even though a quarterback is the most influential player on the field and could drive the Steelers' offense so well that the defense doesn't need to work as hard as it did last year.
Well,
there
Nick,
are just so many factors you got to think about other than
hold it. I got to be
feelings.
a typical Pittsburgh guy. I threw the feelings away. I gave the eye test to Kenny Pickett. 6 years, 24 years old, took him to become great in college. I've told you about my media conspiracy out there. The media would tear us apart. Carolina needs a quarterback. If they grabbed Pickett and started him, what do you think the uproar would have been on the Fan and every other media station in Pittsburgh? You know what? Art Rooney got thin skin. Smoking Jim said he heard he wasn't even a good lawyer. But, that's his opinion and feelings. And, like, I respect opinions, but my opinion, until I'm proven wrong, will be Trubisky will start, and we'll just see what Kenny Pickett is made of in the pros.
Well, no, I never said he'd be successful.
No, I'm just trying to show you that there's a counterbalance to not just the feelings, it's opinions based on the facts as I see them. And when you're bringing up Chip sees facts that what he's been reading for years and doing for years. You're 23 years old. Chip's 61 years old. Right there, how many families, 23-year-olds and 61-year-olds, get along on anything? Just in general.
No, that's fair.
No,
I mean,
I just want to bring it out as a counterbalance on where you're coming from, and me being much older than both of you, so I understand that completely.
Sure, yeah. But
just wanted to clarify that we appreciate everybody. Marla said hi. Amy said, Nick, your haircut looks great.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I heard you're friends with Nick.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah,
Amy sent me a friend request, and I accepted because I recognized her from the show. But, when I talk about...
Old Chief just has more wisdom.
Okay.
He said, I guess when we get older, the past always seems better. Chief, I went to a reunion with KO football players. I told them, all of you guys are superstars. I remember when we were sweating and we didn't have a point on the scoreboard. What the heck happened? So everybody gets better over time, Chip, and our memories, they get worse.
No, and I definitely might be older one day doing some sports talk show, and I'll be talking about the glory days of Aaron Judge and Josh Bell and Andrew McCutcheon, and nobody could possibly be better than those three or any other of the Major League Baseball
Well, how
players
about announcing minor league baseball, little league baseball, pony league baseball, college baseball? You probably announced the best games ever in those venues.
Yeah, well, but I mean...
My point exactly to you, buddy.
Yeah, but I mean... Yeah,
no, because you're making valid points.
Yeah, I don't. I guarantee you that I'll have a biased opinion on what my youth looked like with sports. I also didn't grow up in an era where the Pirates won a World Series either. So I mean, Chip has, and other people who are much older.
Here we got one of my friends, Jim Ellenbogen. You know, he always comes up with history and facts. Mm-hmm. He goes, Pickett was a PR move. He didn't say he agreed with me. That was what I was explaining, Jim. It was PR. He goes, he did not want to hear another Bill Nelson, Marino, Johnny Unitas get away. Was that the right move, right PR move? And he calls it another wild-caught moment in honor of my wild-caught fish meals.
Yeah, but see, that's one of those things where,
but that's, how do you argue his counterpoint?
I don't, because it could have been a PR move.
Jim, you beat him down like I could not. Thank you.
There's no beating down there. I
He
agree with
beat
you
you
that
down.
It could have been a PR move. Like it
That's
could've-
what you didn't ever even acknowledge that.
It is great PR that a quarterback from the University of Pittsburgh who did well the previous year is now on the Steelers. That could have been a factor in it. I think Smoking Jim and I might have had that in our minds for a reason why they should draft Kenny Pickett. Not necessarily because he's the best option right now, but because of all of the fan service that provided and his potential to develop over time. They wouldn't have gotten Trubisky and then drafted Pickett without having that Trubisky backup because you don't know how Pickett's going to play. He might succeed, he might do poorly, but the fact that you drafted him, like all these factors came into my mind, going unbiased to the situation, thinking this is why they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round.
Well,
and since Pickett was available 19 picks later, sure, why not? So, I mean, that's just what I'm saying. And especially with the point about the Pirates, like, don't get too frustrated with the Pirates right away. They make mistakes, but, like, using the endless rage machines of social media is not the best option. I'm just saying relax and appreciate what we have.
Well, here, I'm thankful for all the pro teams. By the way, Amy said you're welcome, Nick. Chief said you're right, Al. Great point. So I appreciate Chief. Thank you, Chief. And Jim Ellenbogen said, wise men know when to stay down, LOL. Dave Cable said, Steelers don't use first-round picks on PR moves. Dave, I disagree with you.
Yeah, but feelings. Put facts over feelings when
Isn't
you're
there a
making
great
predictions.
song called Feelings? Go look it up. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, if you wanna look at sports in a good way or make quality predictions, or if you want to be able to appreciate sports, take your feelings away and go facts. There are a lot of times that facts could overcome your feelings, and what you think is happening might not actually be.
That happens to me all the time. I go by the facts. They crush those feelings. Jim come up with another little wisdom thing. He knows I'm a history guy, so is he. The Roman emperors said, give the crowd what they want. And they had bread and circuses, Jim. They created bread and circuses, hence our sports and all the food you can want at stadiums. Think about it. And Amy said, rain delay for the Buccos. Amy, nobody on the show is really worried about what they're doing tonight. They just won 5 out of 8 games, so they're doing well. So we're good on that. All right, Nick, that's all I have from the guys interacting. Thanks for letting me interrupt. And Dave just got me.
Oh?
Dave's a bit sarcastic and a ball buster. He goes, add that to your list of mistakes you made today.
Ouch!
Thank you. And when the Steelers season starts, I won't bring any of this up. I don't promise, though. We will see, because preseason hasn't started. I told you I could care less about OTAs. NFL just gets publicity all year round, because guess what? They're worth billions, and they're a non-profit, which Smoking Jim learned last week. So we'll find out more. On Location is next in 10 seconds.
Before this On Location segment starts, the Indianapolis Colts. Is that a team?
No.
Trash.
I was gonna,
Baltimore Colts got one.
yeah,
Does that count still?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're
But that was good, though. That was very good.
good.
Smoking
for
Jim
nothing.
said 12 teams in the NFL have not made the playoff or have not won a Super Bowl, and I've been trying to guess throughout the show.
You
I got
good
3
ones.
right.
You got 3 good ones.
Can I do On Location, guys? You
Yes,
done?
sir.
Okay. I defer to my 2 co-hosts. No. On Location had the greatest On Location at Master Zhang's Taekwondo in Bridgeville. Check them out there. Chartiers Valley Shopping Center, right between Planet Fitness and Great Clips. Nick's did a greatest edit job. Slow motion in there. You got to check it out. 49 minutes and 30-some seconds of a show. One of the best I've ever done at Pittsburgh Sportsline. Not bragging, just saying. So thanks to Nick. No shows on the horizon yet. I've had 3 or 4 people ask me to potentially check out their places and maybe do some shows on location. So there's a few rumblings out there. Stay tuned on where we'll be possibly doing a show. Then we can have guests on the show and people in sports, and we can do some talking there, and you'll see our shows. We have over 700 plus shows. Would love to get back on location. I'm not sure if we have a graphic for what we're going to talk about, but we're just going to do like a little open session on talking about what sports we haven't covered and what you may want to talk about here. So I'll leave it up to Smokin' Jim. He's our resident NFL scout, Steeler scout, and Sweetie scout.
Well, Colorado broke my heart. I really thought Edmonton with McDavid.
I am so glad you learned about hockey on Pittsburgh Sportsline, because I was going to bring it up. You beat me to my point on who won in a sweep. You're all about who?
McDavid
and they got swept.
They got swept 0-4, and when I did a little research, because I always thought Wayne Gretzky was the greatest.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how close McDavid was, because I really liked the way
How many years
skates.
he been in the league?
7 years.
Okay.
He got 270 goals or something like that. 200 something, in 7 years.
That's
Gretzky,
only about a third of what your boy Ovechkin has.
Well, in 7 years, Gretzky had almost 500. So, again, Gretzky's the greatest of all time. No offense to Mario Lemieux and
You don't even know
Crosby
Mario.
and Yager, who's my favorite, but that Wayne Gretzky, man, saved hockey. He's the greatest.
Shout out to Greg Kirby. He was my catcher in Little League Baseball. Greg Kirby. Greg Kirby. Hey, Greg, he doesn't. He says he pitches, and they called him Vida Blue. Vida Blue was a left-handed pitcher. Smokin' Jim's as right as they come.
My catcher was white. I remember that.
He don't remember who he was.
I was only black on the team.
Greg Kirby was the best. He caught all my games. He's the best.
My coaches were white.
And he went to KO. So Amy said, "Hi, Smokin' Jim."
Hey, Amy.
Wait, Tony said Smokin' Jim has some sports facts. You win the fan of the night. You stumped him. And how are you comparing your guy to Gretzky? You're saying he's like Gretzky?
Well, I just love the way he skates. I think he's great for.
Well, did you ever see anybody faster handling a puck all the way up the ice than McDavid? You never saw anybody. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, Ovechkin and Gretzky would be in that. Oh, nobody was faster than Gretzky.
So is there?
No. We're talking about handling a puck.
Okay.
And going in past the blue line. Have you seen anybody as fast as McDavid? Because he handles the puck.
Not recently.
Well, you never even watched McDavid.
I loved McDavid.
Well, then you could say he's one of the fastest you've seen.
Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is your number 1-2? Is it just Gretzky and then Ovechkin? Your 1-2 NHL players of all
No.
time? There's some people in between there.
Yeah, there's.
Hopefully Sidney Crosby.
No, Mario. Mario is a distant second to Gretzky.
Okay,
yeah.
then where's Ovechkin on the
Ovechkin
all-time?
Hold it. I got to interrupt you. Greg Kirby just said Al Levine used to smoke my catching hand.
Wow, that's bringing some heat. That's bringing some heat.
He's a witness of it.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Greg. I salute you.
That's bringing some heat.
Thanks for watching the show, brother. Go KO.
Did you ever hurt anyone's hands with your fastball?
You know what? I had so many strikeouts. Man, I mean,
Let me go back to about 11 years ago. Smokin' Jim said, "I'm an honest man."
And then, hey, Dan, I found out recently.
Hold it. You're talking to our fans, not Dan.
Hey, I found out recently my last baseball game, and I played baseball for years. I thought for years I went 7 for 8. But they told me on Pittsburgh Sportsline I actually went 8 for 8. And I got thrown out at home.
Hey, since we're
You said
addressing
you got,
Dan,
that's a lie.
No.
He's lying.
yeah, I hear
I got
Dan.
thrown out at home.
He said he got thrown out at second.
No.
When he told
No,
that
Yeah,
story. Yes,
he's
you
been
did.
telling
At
us,
home.
Dan, just so you know, since you're the semi-star off the cameras,
Would have been an inside the park homer.
let me explain. Smokin' Jim's been telling this show since Nick has been on the show. Nick will be celebrating his second-year anniversary like A1 did last week. And Nick's going to be here 2 years. So, Dan, you know he's an honest man. Just found out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
I
really didn't think you lied this much. I'll go back on the tape. She said it was a double.
Well,
I have literally access to every Sportsline episode.
Hold it. I got another point from Jim Ellenbogen. He's on fire. Vida Blue, 6-time All-Star, first of only 5 pitchers all time to start the All-Star game in both National and American leagues. He's given wild-caught history in honor of my fish meals.
That's what they named me, Vida Blue.
And guess what, Jim? He never threw a ball over home plate.
Vida Blue?
You.
Oh,
No, you. Yeah.
I rest my case.
It probably just hit the dirt and sunk.
I had a heck of a fastball, I'll tell you that.
Did it hurt any catcher's hands?
the
I
only
struck
thing-
out a lot of guys.
I can't remember my catcher.
Amy just said, and Amy, I hate to disagree with you, and she goes, you are the honest man.
Thank you, Amy. Yes!
Don't egg them on.
Yes!
No, I teased you. She said, you are the honest man, Al.
Oh, she said you were. Well, you are on it. You are honest.
I wasn't even saying that.
Yeah, you are.
I'm talking about you.
Yeah. I
You want to tell Dan that?
Anybody that dresses up like whatever the picture is, gotta be honest.
Oh, wow.
Can I have a
Show
time?
that picture again. Honest Al.
Here, buddy. Here, catch this fastball. Stuck right in his eye. Well, we've had a lot of fun. We're down to the 2-minute warning. You have anything serious to say from that side of the table to close this out?
I don't know. No, I'm optimistic about the Pirates.
Want me to name them real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me name
This
them
is
real
your
quick.
cue.
Although
12
the
teams. He got 3.
VIP got 3 of the good ones.
See, I was counting.
Cleveland Browns,
You already said.
Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, San Diego Chargers, Atlanta Falcons, Tennessee Titans, Carolina, Arizona, Houston, Jacksonville, and Bobby Lane's Detroit Lions.
How long's it been since Bobby Lane's played?
1958. So
Okay.
it'll be 64 years. He said he put a 50-year curse on them and another 14 extra years for Lim Barney.
Smoking Jim, where did you get the facts on the curse and the years?
From Bobby. Bobby said it. when
He's
they
been
traded
dead.
him. Yeah, he said it in 1958. He said Detroit won.
What was your source?
And they had won 3. They had just won 3 championships. And Bobby Lane said they won't win the championship.
What was your source?
Huh?
What was your
Well,
source?
you know I'm a journalist.
Folks, I rest my case. When somebody can't answer a direct question, they be lying. And he's doing it. He's my best friend, but what can I say? He's guilty as charged. I want to thank everybody for interacting with me. Chief just called me Uncle Al. All right, Chief. Appreciate that. Thanks to all of you watching the show and interacting. I enjoy that. And if I didn't see you, it's because I'm limited on how many people I can see. As Nick found out, we don't sometimes see it. Like tomorrow, I'll see there were 200-some people that were watching our show. So we'll find that out later. Please stay Joey strong.